Okay, so I'm going to get started here talking about my army list and deployment. So the first thing you'll see on my extreme left flank is a Razor Gore. This is a model I kit bashed a while ago, didn't really have anything in mind for what it would be, but I think it fits as a Razor Gore, alright. We call him the Jean Jacket of Tzeentch, that's his nickname. Next to him is a Tuskgore Chariot. Also on the flank, you'll notice I positioned things purposefully more than 6 inches away from one another to avoid panics. Then we've got 5 Ungor Raiders with a musician. Next to them is, or in the back a little bit from them, is the War Gore. He's my general. He's just got Ruby Ring of Ruin to add a little bit of magical offense to the army and provide leadership 8, which isn't great, but it is what it is. In front of all this stuff is 5 Harpies. Behind that is my big bus of 7 Minotaurs. No upgrades. They're led by a Gorebull BSB, who's got a 5-up ward save and Sword of Might for strength 6. Behind all of that is 11 Gores, and they're joined by my level 2 Shadow Wizard, who rolled up Miasma and the Withering. I've also got another unit of 10 Gores, which aren't on the table because they are deployed in ambush. Then we have a River Troll who is representing my Doom Bull. I don't have a model for him yet, and he is flying around the battlefield with a 1-up armor save and 7 strength 6 attacks. In front of him was 5 Ungor Raiders with a musician, then another Tuskgore Chariot, 20 Ungors with full command, and my second Razor Gore, again another model I sort of kit bashed, so I'll pass it over to Jen and let her describe what she's got going on.
Thanks, Greg. So what you'll see over here with the die is actually a Great Eagle. I didn't have the model for it. Then I have 6 Wild Riders with Musician and Standard facing to the side because they are actually fast cabs, so they can kind of reform freely, and I'm not worried about their movement, just to save space and deployment. Then I have a unit of 4 Treekin and another unit of 4 Treekin. Toughen it out there on the side. Then I have a unit of 12 Glade Guard with Musician and Standard, which is where my general is. She's a Spellweaver level 4 with Wand of Witch Elm, which allows me to reroll the spell attempts. She also has a Linet's Brooch, and I took Lore of Life on her and rolled Regrowth, Throne of Vines, Flesh to Stone, and Shield of Thorns. Next to that is a unit of 8 Dryads with a Branch Wraith with Cluster of Radiance for +1 to spell die. Then my other unit of 12 Glade Guard with Musician Standard. Another 8 Dryads. Behind that, another Great Eagle, which doesn't look like a Great Eagle either. Kind of looks like some horses. And then another unit of 6 Wild Riders with Musician and Standard in the banner of Swiftness. So they are actually movement 10, very mobile. And then finally 8 Dryad. So this here is the bottom of turn 1. Greg, you went first.
Yep.
And what you will see, I guess, is it looks like you got some Harpies moved up. I moved up my Dryads on this end. I moved my Wild Riders into the woods over here.
We didn't really commit too much on this flank yet.
No, well, I kind of swept it around. You're keeping it way back.
Way back. I don't want my chariot to get charged.
Well, true, but and then up here, you have your ambushers came on.
Yeah, they came on turn 1.
My Great Eagle's kind of at an angle, ready to take care of business.
Bring it on.
Else moved away so that you know, if you ever get out of this situation, you're not going to have anybody else left to fight with.
Yep.
You're trying to tempt me with the Harpies. I'm not really that interested. My Dryads are coming around the corner. Of course, my Glade Guard are staying back. Not too many targets because your unit's pretty significant in size. I could probably take off some Ungor Raiders, but I'm at -1 for skirmishing. Over here, one of my units of Treekin turned to face an oncoming threat there.
Yep. Your one unit of Dryads with the Branch Wraith did charge the Harpies in the center of the board.
Which we'll see here.
You broke them and pursued into the Minotaurs. You tried to get off your spell on them, Flesh to Stone, but I dispelled it. One of the
one of the harpies
brave
still
harpies is you could see behind the gores.
So
that
as
was
you
a
can
risky
see,
panic check.
That's really going to be it for the dryads, but I felt that I had no choice but to pursue in that case because I was very close to them anyway and you would have charged me.
Yeah. I forgot to mention those warhounds in the deployment. As you can see, they're not doing very much yet.
Yeah.
Those Ungors actually walked up into that building because they thought that would be a pretty safe place for them to hide.
And,
your Great Eagles.
My Great Eagles kind of coming around the corner, thinking about, I don't know, charging a chariot or just march blocking, or I guess I'm not quite sure what to do with that one. Maybe it's because it's not actually an eagle.
Here we are at the end of turn 2.
I have continued to move up with my Dryads and Wild Riders to threaten your Razor Gore and your Chariot.
Who continue to back away.
Yeah, so I'm feeling pretty pathetic at this point. Over in this corner, you'll see that the Great Eagle horses are no more.
No.
Straight now, but I took a guy with me when I went. So
you took a guy down in the process.
To do. And then my Dryads had charged your unit of Ungor Raiders who fled in the background. You'll see them a little later. Here you see my 2 units of Glade Guard still hanging back and shooting.
Yep. So my Minotaurs destroyed all your Dryads in combat, but the Branch Wraith escaped with their life. Yep. And then your Treekin fled from the Minotaurs. But with only a D6, I didn't catch them.
And as you can see, I've taken off 2 Minotaurs, but it's pretty much pointless because your Blood Greed has given
me the extra attacks. Yep.
And here are your Ungor Raiders running away like the wusses that they are.
You'll see you actually took a wound off of my general over there with your shooting.
Yes, that's about it.
Other Ungor Raiders getting in the way. The big news of the turn is that the Doom Bull charged into the Wild Riders out of the woods there. Ate up the Wild Riders, overran into the flank of the Treekin, and I had charged them in the front with the Razor Gore, so I got to fight again, and I toasted those guys too.
Yeah, you pursued with only D6, and you ended up
I made it. I needed like a 5, I think.
So that was a big turn. That flank is really crumbling for me now. So on your turn 3.
Yep, I declared a lot of charges, including this one, which was the unit of Gores that ambushed onto your 12 Glade Guard, the one without the character.
Without the character, yep.
Which proved to be a problem.
Because, as you will see, you had also declared a charge with the Minotaurs onto my other unit of Glade Guard that had my Wizard, which is also my General in it.
Yep. So you fled from the Gores, and as you could see, your flee reaction put you in the way, making it impossible for me to complete the charge.
I was like, ha!
I was like, oh no, I ruined it. But
then you were like, oh, wait, I'm not done declaring charges. And I was like, charge however you like. I'm satisfied now.
So you'll see those 5 Ungor Raiders off in the corner there. And so the next charge I declared was the Ungor Raiders onto the already fleeing unit of Glade Guard.
So they had to flee the other way, which put them just out of the way and allowed you to complete the charge against my big unit, well, my small unit, but the important one was my Wizard
with the level 4.
Yeah.
So the Minotaurs were just barely able to squeak in, and you can imagine how that combat went.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. You know how it is. You can imagine.
Yeah. So then your turn 3.
Yeah, not much left on the board for me to even do anything with. So I decided to charge my Wild Riders into your Razor Gore. And
jean jacket.
In revenge, they basically cut him to ribbons before they would have been smashed by the rest of your army.
Oh, they probably could have hid the rest of the game.
I don't know. In this situation, almost everything was gone, and you had plenty of things to try to get at me. Yeah. So on my turn 3, I had to concede less than, just at the halfway point of what would be a regular game. So this was how I was feeling in that moment. And of course,
this is how I was feeling.
Thanks a lot.